Good morning, everybody. I am Charles Douthit, co-founder and CEO of Virnika. And I think this presentation is going to make a lot more sense if I give you a little backstory on the team first. All right, so this is my fourth startup. My previous venture was the restaurant delivery service Takeout Central. If you're unfamiliar with Takeout Central, think of it as the North Carolina version of DoorDash. I grew that business to 500 restaurants and 12 million in revenue. And one of the reasons we reached 500 restaurants was I actually recruited Cameron, who's one of the top sales reps in the nation selling to restaurants. Now, eventually I sold that business because you can only compete with DoorDash so long when they raise money from SoftBank and Sequoia, right? And teamed up with Cameron to go out and find the next big trend in restaurants. And we knew AI was going to play some role in that. So we recruited Logan, who just finished his PhD from UNC in AI and machine learning. And the three of us went out to talk to restaurant owners. And we kept hearing the same problem, labor, labor, labor. But when we dug in and asked why repeatedly, we found out it wasn't so much labor as it was they had all these time-intensive manual tasks that required labor. So all these actually have some similarities in common. They all have a structured process, happen regularly, are essential to the business, and are totally unexciting. Nobody wakes up in the morning energized about bad Yelp reviews or answering phone calls. So, I mean, take phone calls, for example. 100 million times a week, someone calls a restaurant to place an order or ask a question. But when that's happening, there is a customer that needs to be sat. There's a DoorDash driver needing an order. Silverware needs to be rolled. Reservations need to be made. There's always one guy in the corner waving his hand because he hasn't seen his waitress recently. Right? It's chaos. And the result of that chaos is that none of the tasks are performed with high quality consistently, costing owners precious revenue. So what do we do about this? Well, we're building an AI platform of agents. Owners can deploy an agent to accomplish a task with high quality consistently. So think of them as digital restaurant employees. Right? They can monitor a process, decide on a course of action, and then actually deliver the outcome. So we're starting with phone orders because they're annoying to restaurant owners. And we've built a phone agent that will answer the call, take the order, and then dump the order into the point of sale. So let's listen as our co-founder Cameron, my co-founder Cameron, actually calls our AI voice agent, Penny. Oop. Maybe. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Nice.
This is exciting. That's exciting. I guess
I like the Bump Bros name.
Yeah.
Could you play it from your phone?
All right, well, there. Jump back and we'll move on. Sorry. Now I know. Broke, right?
Tell us what happened.
Yeah. So if that had played correctly, then you would have seen that Cameron would have called, ordered a cheeseburger. You'd heard a natural voice with inflection and sounded very human-like and responded quickly. It wasn't like calling Walgreens to pick up a prescription or something, right? So we have a very natural-sounding voice that takes the order and then can turn around, tell you how much it is, and dump the order in the point-of-sale system. And if you want, and no, Cameron did not call my wife. That was not faked. You can actually call it for yourself if you want to later and hear it for yourself or watch that video. The URL is right there at the top. So what do we charge for Penny when we kick her out into a restaurant, right? So we have, oh, good grief. All right, what am I doing wrong? Thank you. Okay, so we have three-tier pricing structure. Restaurant owners buy an allotment of orders. If they go over that allotment, then we charge them a per-order fee. And we think on the whole we can earn about $6,000 a year. And if we start charging for other AI agents, we'll increase that average contract value to $8,000. And Penny fits into the larger AI agent market that's valued at $10 trillion. But I always have hated the Tam Sam Son slide because When have you ever seen anything other than a really big number in the big bubble, right? So let me tell you two things you need to know about this industry. The first is there's 750,000 restaurants nationwide, and very few, if any, right now use any AI. And secondly, there are 2,000 locally, which we have good access to. So 2,000 locally, 750,000 nationally. How do we build a really large venture? Well, if we recruit at an ARPA of 8K and recruit 20,000 restaurants, we'll build a $160 million a year business. Now, is that crazy? And I don't think so, because if you look at some of the other companies in the restaurant space selling to restaurants, that's doable. But to get there, we've got some work. We've had some recent traction that we're excited about. Recently, we've got 60 restaurants on our wait list, collected $35,000 in deposits, raised money from Primordial and Tweener Fund in the Triangle. We're accepted into the incubator Antler, have strategic partnerships with 2 restaurants in the Triangle. But 2 weeks ago, received the NCIDEA Grant Seed Award, and have partnerships with Verizon DeliverDirect, which gives us access to 60,000 restaurants. But we want to step on the gas more. So we're raising a $200,000 angel round. 85K has already been committed. And we're going to use that to onboard our first 50 restaurants, generating 25K in MRR, and then be well positioned for a fundraise in the spring. All right, I think that's it for me. If you have any questions, happy to answer them.
Okay, so it's typically bad etiquette to use your phone in the meeting, right? We're going to violate that this morning. Everybody get your phone. I'm serious. Everybody get your phone and go to demo.virnika.ai. It's virnika.ai. I'm serious. Get your stupid phone. Demo.virnika.ai, and then play the little demo. Look at Charles's thing, because like we needed to see that, right? So do it. Okay, everyone sit quietly and do your thing. All right. Mine is just fine. Don't blame. Don't blame.
With fries.
Here. Good.
How would you like your burger cooked? Also, any specific requests for the fries, like extra crispy or no salt?
Yeah, let me do extra crispy on the fries, and can you guys do medium rare on the burger?
Got it. Your mushroom twist burger with medium rare beef patty and extra crispy fries is added to the cart. Anything else for you today?
Nope, that'll do it.
Great. Can I get your name for the order?
Yes, it's Cameron.
Thanks, Cameron. Your order will be ready in about 20 minutes. Have a great day.
Thanks.
That workflow was okay. I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
So you got the deck part is great. Obviously, you're an experienced entrepreneur. You're answering all the right questions. That's all good. The thing I'd like to hear you comment on, because obviously you have some experience, so I think everybody will appreciate that, is, so when I look at a opportunity like this, it appears to me that it's a great addressable market. It's a real problem. You're invested in the problem. You know what the solution is. You're capable of the solution. You have a good team. I'm curious of what you think is going to happen competitively, because this is a feature inside of Square or Toast that they release tomorrow, and you guys are waking up going, oh shit. So it becomes a question of speed to me, not a question, in execution at scale. And so I'm curious what you guys are thinking there, because clearly you can solve the problem you already have, and it's a great market. But this is one of those things where you have to go really fast. So like when I see $200,000 cap raise, I feel like it should be a $10 million cap raise, and I'm like, what are you going to do?
So the reason this won't just be the voice agent could work for Toast because they have the point of sale, right? So yes, they could roll that out. What Square or Toast won't do is actually integrate with the phone stack of the restaurant. So we're actually going the extra step. These restaurants, this is kind of a little backstory. So I see the restaurant phone number as like the new URL. It is a key endpoint to receive a voice order, an AI order in the future. But the restaurants already have this established phone number that's been around for 25 years. It's printed on every pizza box and to-go box. Toast is not going to come in and work with the restaurant owner to transition that phone number, transition Toast in between their phone number and the point of sale like we're doing. That takes an extra little legwork that helps secure our product. And secondly, what was the other question?
That answers a good part of it.
Okay.
I knew that was the answer. That's why I asked it, because I read it last night on your website. And I knew that you were innovating in the telephony stack. But I think the point here for a lot of this group is you know, is the execution side of this at scale and with speed, and what differentiates you and creates enough of a moat so that you can hang on to that, you know, that lead?
It is a bit of a race right now to acquire the phone numbers, because that's the wedge issue. And once you get into their tech stack or phone stack in this case, then you can expand the product offering. So yes, Toast could offer a phone solution, but Toast isn't going to tie into their like Yelp reviews or their Google My Business reviews, and we want to sit on top of all their technology platforms and tie in. So we dump orders into the point of sale, but we can dump employees into their hiring and scheduling software, QuickBooks. We want to tie into pretty much every piece of software that they use and deploy an agent for each one of those. So yes.
So I think the onboarding part of that is super important, because if you can, not different from what you're talking about, actually be an assist to those businesses in onboarding, integrating that, especially if you're going to get into their telephony stack. I think it's really important. I'll say this and I'll let Chris go. I think this is a great idea. I've had lots of good ideas in the past. I've had lots of shitty ones. I've sold some businesses and had some businesses go to zero. Never once has one of my great ideas ever made me a fucking dime, okay? Here's how you win is when you're on time. If you time the market wrong, you lose. And so you've timed this, I think, well. So that's to your benefit.
Learned that from DoorDash.
Yeah. The second is execution. I mean, this is purely execution. So like, I think the building the pitch, not around so much of the market, but around how you guys are uniquely positioned to execute, would get people super excited. I mean, I love it. I think you get super excited if there's a clear path to execution, because you've got timing right. And that's a hard part of it, is not being too early and, of course, not being late. So go ahead, Chris.
Raise your hand if you really liked the demo. Yeah, good. People really liked the demo. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good demo.
Right? Yeah, it was really good. So could you go back to your pricing slide? Sure. I would like to say something to the group that I think that Charles is doing right. If you're selling data or AI, right, you should always sell it by the smallest unit that you can, never by the gallon. When people say it's the new oil or whatever, the metaphor really doesn't work, because you have to sell this stuff by the dropper, like perfume. That's the only way to really get value out of it, right? How many customers do you have right now? None?
So we have one using the product right now.
Okay.
But we're kind of the Wizard of Oz behind the screen, so it takes the order, but then we turn around and actually listen to it and turn around and call it in ourselves. Yeah, just to keep the reins on it.
So to me, like, I think the absolute most important thing that you guys are going to need to manage is churn, right? Because I think you're going to be able to get people to look at this and say, all right, sure, I'll give it a go, right? Whatever. You've got some experience with these restaurant owners, right? I mean, these are small business owners. They're not like hyper professional. How do you expect to manage churn on a product like this?
So my experience has been, once a restaurant owner kind of gets comfortable with a new thing, so I'll compare it to food delivery in 2013. A lot of people are putting their big toe into it and testing it. Does my food travel well? What's the competition doing down the street? And once they see it working and how it works and understand it, they usually commit, and there's usually not that much churn. For this product, it's going to be much like their point of sale or the bank. I don't expect it to change, because they're going to trust it and learn to trust it, and then they're going to integrate it into their telephony stack. And once we have that 45-minute conversation with Verizon and switch up their phone system, just to tweak it a little bit, you don't really go back and kind of edit that very often once you make that commitment.
What does that telephony onboarding look like for the restaurant owner themselves?
So we're actually handling that for them. So after the onboarding process, it triggers an email to them and say, hey, please CC us on an email, copy and paste this text with your Verizon agent, and ask for these things and CC on us, and then we follow up and just say, yes, this is what we need, if Verizon has any questions. But we've now done this enough times where we know what to say to actually get to the right person and actually make that change pretty quickly. And so we try to carry as much of the water for the restaurant owner as we can, at least in the onboarding process.
And how long does that take? Like, if I'm the restaurant owner and I say, yeah, let's do it, how long till Penny's answering the phone?
So she could be answering the phone in 15 minutes, but it wouldn't be their number. We were going to deploy a Twilio number immediately after the sign-up process. So they can go ahead and call that and test it, so they get immediate value. If they want to post it on their Google My Business listing, it would work immediately. The issue is they want to advertise their current number, so that takes an extra day or two for us to send that email, follow up.
Not weeks.
Yeah. No, not weeks, no.
Couple days.
Yeah.
And you don't charge for the onboarding right now?
No.
How are you going to get first 500 customers?
So we have a key integration with DeliverEct. So if you're familiar with, there are a lot of point-of-sale systems in the world. DeliverEct is a middleware, so I send the order to this third party, DeliverEct. DeliverEct has APIs directly into Toast, Square, Clover. We've finished our certification. We're the first people in the country with that certification. And they are telling us that, hey, we have this 44 restaurant that really likes your idea. We have this 20 restaurant chain that likes your idea. So I expect the first $1 million is just going to come from channel partnerships with people, wanting to, oh, I don't want to answer my phone anymore.
Who wants to say that?
Quick question. When you think about the whole telephony process, right? What I'm thinking is the scaling piece of that is going to be a challenge in itself. Do you see that as an ongoing piece of your operational model long term?
I do, for the first several years, yes. But I think it's worth it because nobody else in the country is spending that extra, it's an hour. Once you know what to say and who to email and how to set it up to make it quick and easy, an extra hour, and then we're built into their phone system, and that's tough to change down the road. It also provides additional value, because if you have some restaurant owners like, yeah, I can give you a new phone number in 20 minutes. Like, I've had this number for 25 years. I don't want it. It's been printed on everything, and my dad picked the number, and they don't want to change numbers. Yeah, that's just knowing your customer. Yes.
So I'll swear to you that my wife is like Meg Ryan and Harry Met Sally. So she'll make everything very specific in her order. Like, can you take this out? Can you take that out? Also, we have a tendency to call people and say, what do you have that has basil but not too much of this and not too much of that?
Yeah.
And also, the third question, I know I'm stacking questions on you here. Someone like my father who has a heavy accent, how sophisticated is the system to handle all those situations?
Yeah. So in terms of asking for modifications, absolutely, that's not a problem. We've nailed that problem. In fact, if you call and say, hey, well, walk me through, guide me through the menu about this item, or what has the right amount of this in it, this is where we really excel, and that's what the restaurant owner hates having to deal with, because if you've got 3 people standing in front of you, you don't spend 20 minutes like, well, how does this sound? And trying to, that's where we provide some value. And so yes, we can absolutely walk, because the data structure we have ingesting is the menu, and so we understand everything on the back end inside of Toast, what ingredients are in that menu and what that item's made up of. It can speak intelligently about those. And the third question was?
Accents.
Oh, accents, yes. Yes, so it is tricky right now, but the AI, the models, the stuff we're building on top of, it's getting better every week. Every week. So in 6 months, it won't be a problem.
Awesome. Let's give it up for Virnika.